So let's get this straight. News explodes. Jair Bolsonaro, the former president, he supposedly made a PIX transfer, not a small amount, mind you, 2 million reais, to his son, Eduardo Bolsonaro. The reason? For Eduardo to sustain himself in the USA. Are you kidding me? Seriously. This is the story we are expected to swallow. 2 million reais for living expenses in a country where millions struggle daily. This sum is an insult. It spits in the face of every hard-working Brazilian. How can anyone justify this? What kind of sustenance costs 2 million? Is Eduardo living on Mars? Or perhaps in a golden palace? This explanation just doesn't fly. And, as if on cue, the classic refrain. Bolsonaro reportedly told the federal police this. And then, what does he do? He complains of persecution. We need to dig deeper. All right, let's be crystal clear here. I'm Felipe Neto, and I'm not going to stand by silently. Not while these kinds of stories surface. Stories that insult our intelligence. Stories that reek of potential wrongdoing. It's my duty, and yours, to question, to demand answers. Especially when it involves public figures and massive sums of money. This isn't about left or right. It's about right and wrong. This isn't a political game for me. It's about fundamental principles. Accountability, transparency, integrity. These are not optional extras for those in power, or for those who once held power. When a former president is linked to such a transfer, we deserve nothing less. Let's dissect this official line, shall we? Jair Bolsonaro reportedly told the federal police he sent 2 million reais via PIX to his son, Eduardo Bolsonaro. The stated purpose? To cover Eduardo's living expenses, his sustenance while in the United States. Pause for a moment and let that sink in. 2 million reais for one person's living expenses. This explanation is an insult to our collective intelligence. And then, right on schedule, the victim card is played. Bolsonaro complains of persecution. Oh, here we go again. The same old song and dance. Whenever uncomfortable questions arise, whenever investigations get too close, out comes the shield of persecution. It's a tactic as predictable as the sunrise. But is it persecution, or is it accountability? There's a massive difference, folks. A difference they conveniently ignore. Let's be very clear about what persecution is. It's unjust targeting. It's suppression of rights. It's being silenced for your beliefs. Our investigations into potential financial irregularities persecution is being asked to explain a 2 million reais transfer persecution. No. That is called due process. That is called the rule of law in action. Something that should apply to everyone, regardless of their political power or past position. No one should be above scrutiny. Don't let them change the subject. Section 5. The murky millions. Where did it come from? Where did it go? Let's talk about the origin of this 2 million reais. This isn't chump change we're discussing here. Where did Jair Bolsonaro get this kind of money? Was it from his presidential salary? Saved diligently? Was it from legitimate investments? Or, and this is a crucial question, could it have come from the massive PIX donations? The ones his supporters sent him after he left office? Money supposedly to help him pay fines and legal fees, or support his cause. Is this where that supporter money ended up? If, and I say if, this money came from supporter donations, then a whole new set of questions arises. Did the donors intend for their money to fund Eduardo's sustenance in the USA? To the tune of 2 million reais? Or did they believe they were supporting a political cause, or helping a persecuted leader? If you donated, is this how you wanted your money used? This is a serious breach of trust if true. It would mean supporters were potentially misled. And that's a very serious accusation to consider. Now, let's consider the destination. Eduardo's living expenses in the United States. This is incredibly vague. Insultingly vague. Section 6. The American Connection. More than just sustenance? Why the United States of America? This isn't just a random choice of country. Eduardo Bolsonaro has well-documented, strong connections, ties to conservative and right-wing movements in the United States. He's often seen at events, meeting figures from that political sphere. So, when 2 million reais is sent for his sustenance there, it's natural to wonder if there's more to it. Is this purely about personal upkeep? Or is there a political dimension we're not being told about? The context matters, and the context here is highly political. Is this 2 million reais truly just for food and rent? Or could it be seed money, funding for political networking, lobbying efforts, perhaps to build alliances or influence abroad? These are not far-fetched questions, given the family's political history and ambitions, and Eduardo's own international activities. The sustenance claim feels like a very thin veil, potentially obscuring activities that require significant financial backing, activities they might not want publicized. Section 7. A pattern of deception. The Bolsonaro playbook exposed. This 2 million reais PIX transfer doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's not an isolated incident of questionable financial dealings. No, it fits into a broader pattern. A pattern we've seen play out time and time again. Remember the stories of cash purchases of properties? The numerous investigations into financial quirks surrounding the family? The lack of clear explanations for wealth accumulation? This latest episode feels like another chapter, another page in the Bolsonaro playbook of financial opacity. And it's a playbook we need to understand. What happens when questions are asked? When journalists investigate? When authorities probe? The immediate response is almost always the same: deflection, denial, and the cry of persecution. Attack the messenger, discredit the inquiry. Never ever provide straightforward, verifiable answers. It's a tactic designed to shut down debate, to intimidate critics and rally the faithful, but it's a tactic that wears thin. Section 8. The sound of silence. Where is the accountability? So, this news breaks. This 2 million reais bombshell. And what happens next? What are the authorities doing? Is this being thoroughly investigated by the federal police, beyond just taking Bolsonaro's statement? Are they tracing the source of the funds, verifying the living expenses claim with actual evidence? Or will this become just another headline? Another scandal that fades into the background, without any real resolution or accountability? The Brazilian people deserve to know this is being taken seriously, with the rigor and impartiality it demands. And what about the recipient of these millions? Eduardo Bolsonaro, the man who supposedly needs 2 million reais to sustain himself. What is his side of the story? Does he publicly confirm this extraordinary need? Can he provide a breakdown of these lavish expenses? Or is he remaining silent, hoping it will all blow over? His silence, if he remains silent, is deafening. It speaks volumes. A federal deputy implicated in such a transaction owes the public an explanation. A detailed one, not just a nod to his father's claims. Section 9. Don't be fooled. Demand answers. Demand truth. Brazil. This entire saga, this 2 million reais transfer, it's not just about the money. It's about something far more fundamental. It's about integrity, honesty, respect. Respect for the Brazilian people. Respect for our intelligence. When explanations are this flimsy, this insulting, it shows a profound lack of respect. And we must not tolerate it. This is bigger than Jair Bolsonaro. Bigger than Eduardo Bolsonaro. It's about the kind of country we want to live in. We cannot allow these well-worn narratives of persecution to overshadow the urgent need for facts, for truth, for accountability. These are not mutually exclusive concepts. One can be investigated without being persecuted. One can be asked to explain their actions without being a victim. It's time to separate the wheat from the chaff.